Welcome to Vice and Easy, your podcast for all things Miami Vice, with your host, Marina. Hello, and welcome back to Vice and Easy. First things first, as you can tell, I am a little sick. I'm just super congested. I think it was just a lot of traveling into very different climates, and it's been very it was very cold and wet and rainy in Los Angeles, and then it became nice and warm. So just a lot of changes. So I think that's it. And then just feeling like a little bit run down. So sorry I don't sound as my best. And also, if you hear background noise, I'm going to do my best to eliminate it in editing, but I am in a different room and I'm also on a different floor with a different chair. So I might be making a lot more background noise, and I know that gets super annoying when you listen to a podcast. So I'll do my best to edit it out. But now I'm going to disappoint you a little bit more. This episode this week definitely deserves to be one of the lost episodes. This week we are covering Season 5, Episode 19, Leap of Faith. Or, as I say, wait, didn't 21 Jump Street just come out a year ago? Because that's exactly what this episode is. But let's get into it. Per IMDb, the Young Victims Unit, a new squad of undercover officers, are put to the test when a new deadly drug begins to circulate on a college campus in Miami. They suspect a reputable but dangerous college professor. We open the episode with where I think most of the budget went. A weird nightclub full of a wide range of ages and wardrobes. It is the weirdest club I've seen in a long while. And obviously we see young kids dancing on stage, a guy that's trying to kind of emulate his favorite hair metal singers, a girl kind of topless on stage, another guy dancing with her, a guy licking this girl's neck, and then you have Crockett and Tubbs come in, and obviously they look like heat, and we'll get to that in a minute. They will get called out for it. But yeah, this is where the budget has gone for the episode, in case you're wondering. Now, not to make it more obvious that they look out of place here, they're going to see Joey Harden, or Joey Chandler, remember from Line of Fire. He is back because, again, this is our 21 Jump Street spinoff. As they're chatting in the club loudly that a deal is about to go down, Crockett walks up to the bar, and it's same old. I did note it was served to him in a plastic cup. I was like, okay, that makes sense. Less glass breaking. You don't want people to accidentally drop it on the dance floor, what have you. And then right at the same time, we get my wild card for the episode. This massive, massive man in a very, very, very tiny tank top. And he starts kind of getting up in Crockett's face, calls him out as being heat loudly in a club where a deal's about to go down. Then obviously they get into a little bit of a fight. Crockett, well done. He's able to basically whoop his ass when another biker guy comes kind of out of the corner of their eyes. Tubbs catches it and he ends up being thrown over the bar. So surprisingly, with all this progress, the deal doesn't go down. They leave, and that kid that they were kind of messing with, the kid that was dancing with the topless girl on stage, they're taking him to a rooftop. I hope it wasn't the actual rooftop of the bar, but they're taking him to a rooftop. And this is when we kind of get introduced to the plot of the episode.
It's in dreams we reach our real power, find our true selves.
Yeah, right.
You insist on attributing all your new powers to drugs. Don't you see how negative that is? How terribly wrong. Peter, I want to believe that you're still one of us, but if you don't have the courage or the will...
No, I do. I really do.
But you don't believe me, Peter.
Wow, as someone who used to have a dream journal and I used to have all these books on dream interpretation, I am personally offended. I will not be lumped in with these guys. I really also don't like, that's the whole point, this guy's, I thought you were one of us, while we're watching someone in a vulnerable state and they're like manipulating him. Like, I get that's the whole point of this episode, but it's just really sad and it really irks me, and then it gets worse.
You can do it, Terry. You'll see. You with me, man?
Hey, I'm right here, Peter.
Well, no surprise on how that ended. As his crew looks on. Also, you have to... Again, this is why I post photos for every episode, because you have to see like this weird crew, young, old, and this line took me out.
It's not funny, Piggy.
And it's worse when we actually look at the photos. Again, you can see the photos of each and every episode, except for 2 that have been taken down by Imager, of Vice and Easy on the gallery. And he's not fat. Like, I understand that's the whole point, is that this guy is playing psychological games and taking advantage of people. But then there's an old guy in the crew that I never get his name. Like, what do we call him? Like, Father Time? Methuselah? Like... Oh, man. Well, after the credits, we are back at Vice, where Joey Harden in a wild getup with denim shirt, bleached white jeans, what I thought was caution tape at first, but it's just a giant scarf wrapped around his waist with gun holsters and black boots. It is a look, but it's just kind of funny. You have like old guard, new guard. And as they're trying to access this file, because again, Joey has been working with the group. He wasn't there at the sacrifice, the assisted suicide, but he does know enough. And when he goes to talk with Crockett, they try to access Terry Baines, the professor, his file. It's locked. He can't access it. Then we see a new character. We don't actually see her face. We just see her back. And boy, it's a beautiful view in the green dress. And you can just see Joey's head like turn all the way to the side. But speaking of this locked file, Crockett knows exactly who has access to it. And there is a lot of history there, which really took me by surprise.
You're still mad at me, Sonny. After how long's it been? 12 years?
13, but who's counting?
Hey, Sonny. Listen, what went down that day you got shot, I have never forgotten or forgiven myself. I run it on instant replay in my head every day of my life.
You'll pardon me if I don't jump to forgive you.
I do regret what happened, Sonny.
It's over. Forget it. I have.
I understand that this is a spin-off, and maybe they wanted to add this to get people to tune into the next one, because they're like, what's this part of Crockett's lore we haven't heard about? And this guy coming from out of nowhere, they just completely brush it under the rug. However, before we get going, please look at the signs of the back of this scene. I was able to get one that was at least like pretty legible to read. Men will put up with anything as long as they think it's foreplay. And there's like all these weird jokes and sayings and colloquialisms all over this bar. But let's get back to the spinoff, because we need to know what's going on, and we're just going to brush over that whole I was there the day you got shot and I regret it. I think about it every day of my life. I don't think you set him up because you're still in the force. Were you asleep? Were you like supposed to be on lookout and you felt it? Like, I really want to know, but we never shall. But let's get into the background.
For the past 5 years, I've been developing new units, anti-gang, counter-terrorist. I come up with something special. YCU, Young Criminal Unit. I got 3 of the brightest young cops in this business. Now, they can get inside places older cops can't touch.
Did the 21 Jump Street crew have a separate unit or a separate name? I digress.
I got a hell of a shot with this program. We're state mandated, we can cross county lines, we can get involved wherever we're needed. And we were assigned to this case by the Attorney General.
I don't give a damn if you were assigned by Dan Quayle.
Bad ADR followed by a Dan Quayle reference. Oh, wow. Yeah, I think the main reason this episode just didn't jive with me, it was that the production quality was so low. And have you ever been given that advice? Like, why is anyone else going to care if you don't care? That 100% applies to this episode. It's the weird editing. It's the cinematography's kind of weird. The quality, like you'll see it in another scene and I'll show you, and I have it on Imager where you can see the quality just decline. Like it looks like it was just filmed with a different camera on a different set and it was just kind of like all jumbled together. I would love to know a little bit more of the background. I might deep dive and see if I couldn't really find much when I was just kind of doing surface level research, but what the thought process was in this episode. Sorry, why are you gonna listen? I'm just gonna crap all over the whole episode, but it kind of deserves it. Speaking of Young Criminal Unit, let's meet some of these youths.
She'll meet later. Hey, you're the hotshot Cutter keeps warning us about, huh? Well, I'm from Fayetteville, Arkansas, home of the Razorbacks. Where you hail from?
Baltimore, former home of the Colts. Me, I'm into surfboards and bikinis. I come from Long Beach. Ever been to California, Hardin?
Not yet. Maybe someday.
The guy from Long Beach is so aggressive for no reason, and it continues the entire episode. He has this chip on his shoulder, and he has it out for Joey, and it's so comical at this point, and it reminds me of that South Park episode on the ski hill where there's that one guy that has it out for Stan and keeps calling him Stan Darsh for no reason. Like, it's just such a trope. But speaking of fellow youths, do you want to guess how old these actors were at the time? So our youth from Arkansas, 30 years old in 1989, and our Long Beach boy was 27 years old in 1989. But let's get back into it. Joey is able to impress them at the shooting range. And then this is where I will direct you to see the contrast in quality of these two screenshots to see what it looks like. This transition also really jarred me because Joey, I guess he's trying to flirt with the girl from Just Shoot Me. But I also wanted to bang my TV like Homer Simpson and be like, be more funny.
Tanya Lewis, detective. I see you've survived so far.
Yes, but I'm in serious pain.
Really? Maybe you should lie down and have someone massage your back.
What I did notice fashion-wise that I really liked is we tend to roll up our sleeves thinking that we're emulating Crockett and Tubbs, but actually they didn't really roll up their sleeves often. They would have sometimes baggier blazers and it kind of would scrunch up, but her blazers throughout the episode are all rolled up like that. She always wears, or she's wearing this one, which is black, and she has another beige one later on that are rolled up in the sleeves. I thought that was interesting. So now she's going to give us a little bit more background on Baines with, again, I took a GIF of a very funny transition on the computer. And this line took me out.
As you know, he teaches dream reality at Bradfield College. Brand new sentence.
Then when they're talking about Poe, they make a Roger Corman joke. And actually, to be fair, I did look it up. They are right. It's just still not funny to me. And then we get a little bit more background into not only how he views things, but kind of ties it up to the introduction we got to him in the cold open.
Poe thinks the dream world is ideal reality and that normal waking consciousness is all compromise and lies.
Right, and that fits with what I learned from Peter Ladd, the kid who jumped last weekend. See, Baines is developing this new designer drug called Bliss. Now, the university was financing his research because they thought it would be invaluable for terminal cancer patients.
But some of the more conservative professors formed a block against him and they cut off his funding. That set him off.
Correct, but there's more to all this than just drugs.
First bone to pick with. I understand that Joey's from Baltimore. And Edgar Allan Poe, also famously, I just thought there would be more of a connection of, oh, we had a Poe month in elementary school and we learned more about XYZ. I assumed there would be some kind of connection because it seems very interesting. Joey doesn't need to be from Baltimore. He can be from any other city. Why Baltimore? And tie it in with Edgar Allan Poe and then just leave that there. Do you want to see Professor Terry at work? Get your barf bags ready.
But remember, kiddies.
Ew, it's so gross.
With Poe, drugs were never merely recreational. You see, Poe understood what all the great religious leaders knew, that the waking world is really the world of sleep, of half-consciousness, and we need desperately to wake up from that world.
Now, when I went to university, we didn't have little screens on little screens. Also, okay, this is kind of funny. So when you're looking at the monitors that are showing Professor Baines doing his lecture, like it's live streamed, no one's actually sitting in front of the TV. They're sitting next to the TVs. So is it meant for the person? I guess maybe it's meant for the person behind. I guess maybe it's just a stylistic choice. But how much money does this college have? Is it like a liberal arts college? Is that why they're learning dream reality? Maybe it's just, I think the way also the title of the class makes me giggle, but it's very interesting. And like, yes, I was very much into this and I could never really astral project. I could never have vivid dreams. I guess also I kind of didn't want to. Like there's a lot of things you kind of want to keep tapped and locked up, and I've already had a lot of that open. I don't think I need it anymore, but I thought that would be really interesting to try to tap into that side of myself. And I was very much into dream journaling, and a lot of it was right after I got sober. I had such vivid dreams, and I remember my iPhone notes of that year. It's like karaoke songs, download this, you parked here, and then these like horrible, like vivid dreams. Never as vivid, like vivid dreams when people would tell me about them, that they could talk to their, deceased mother and father and get in touch with loved ones. And I was like, I never had that. It'd be cool to dream a little bit more. I haven't dreamt in quite a while. Like I can't remember the last dream I had. I can't remember the last dream I wrote down. And that is a little sad. I think also just my dream quality has been so bad. But then also my dream quality, my sleep quality has been so bad. But also when I was having these really vivid dreams, I remember it was my last year of university, and I was not having a great time. I was not sleeping well either, and I got a twitch in my left eye. So, interesting. Maybe a lot of them were kind of just like nightmare daydreams. However, I digress. Again, Joey comes up, talks to him, and tries to, kind of butter him up. And when he asks questions in class as well, which the professor brings up when he comes to see him after the class, is asking about drugs. And again, to be fair, the professor could kind of sniff out anyone that's a little bit sus. I do kind of respect that, as much as he's saying that we don't have as much power or agency in the conscious world. He's very adept at changes in behavior, in cues in, oh my God, what's it called when you communicate? Body language. He's very adept at that. He's obviously creeping on a student who is way too beautiful for this world, but especially way too beautiful for him. So as soon as he sees Long Beach talking with Claire, he tries to break it up by saying that he and Claire have an appointment. Like, ew, guys, somebody call the dean. Like, I'm sorry. Then we get a showdown with some more bad ADR between Baltimore and Long Beach.
A relationship with Baines. You saw how he was talking to me in class. He was starting to bite.
I saw a teacher talking to a brown-nosing student. And afterwards, I saw him walk away from you, which you then turn around and blame me for.
Just because I'm not thinking with my crotch.
That's wrong, man. Totally wrong.
My thought is that they used a different word, thinking that the censors would let it fly on network television in the late 80s. And that's why there's such bad ADR. But then it also goes into the next part of the scene with Long Beach.
You're not getting anywhere, so you get bent out of shape because I am. Well, don't mess up what I got going. Butt out!
Also, the next scene at the party that Baines is hosting at his house. This is a mansion. I understand that maybe he could try to legitimize this by being like, oh, I had this grant with the university for this drug, and that's where I got all this money. But it's clearly obvious. Unless he's publishing a ton of books, has something else on the side, or like this is his side hustle, there's no way that a liberal arts college professor is living in this lavish mansion. Also, why are you I guess he's a creep. Why are you inviting your students? What also I noticed about this party before we get into it, these drinks look like it's just blue curacao. There's Exhibit A with just blue liquid and an orange slice. And then there's another champagne glass. Maybe it's the same and it looks very, very, very diluted. Like you can see right through it, with an orange slice at the side as well. So I thought that was funny. Some of these outfits at the party are very interesting, but I really like the girl with the yellow tube dress. It's a great fit on her, great color. Now, all of our youths are at the party in different capacities. Our Arkansas boy is trying to embody a poor, sad, abused poet from a small town. And the outfits, that's why I'm like trying to hold it back. The outfits are ridiculous. His wig, again, this is a very handsome man under the wig. And you finally get to see it a little bit later in the episode when you can actually see his face. With the little man bun, the glasses, the cardigan, the button-up shirt, and the undershirt for a house party in Miami. And I looked this up. They filmed this episode in about March. Maybe, a little cooler. He must have been sweating balls in this thing. Joey, looking very cute, shirtless, wearing jeans and boots by the pool. Very Justin Bobby coded, I like to say. He is able to sneak in to Baines's office while Long Beach tries to keep a watch and then tries to distract Baines when he comes by making out with Claire right across from the office. Joey doesn't have that much time to actually snoop because by the time he gets in there, Baines, again, he's very, very aware. He feels that something's wrong. He gets into the office. And again, Long Beach and Claire making out, that kind of gives him an extra second. And I have a great gif of Joey hopping off the balcony and then running back upstairs. There's another screenshot of him standing with a group of people. And he looks so sus. It's so funny. You can definitely tell he was up to no good. But Baines is able to bring him back for, I don't want to say interrogation questioning, but this is the line he leads with.
Hey, since you like old things so much, why don't you come with me? I'll show you something that'll give you a real thrill.
Number one, you are the old thing professor. Number two is because he was talking about like the decor of the house. But that was just so funny. Not antiques, not vintage collectibles. Like, I understand I often lose the word I'm trying to think of, but old things. Obviously, he accuses Joey of breaking into his office, and instead of, trying to play it off and be cool, he pulls out a knife and then gives a BS story.
I found it on a trip to Africa. See, the natives believe that if you cut a man with this, he'll be powerless to lie to you.
My man, I think you fell for the tourist trap. Anybody getting cut or stabbed would be much less inclined to lie. So I don't think it's a special. He brandishes at Joey, and Joey again tries to play it off. But unfortunately, something to keep in mind this episode is that Terry is very perceptive. Is he perceptive enough to realize that there's not just an age gap between him and Claire, a power dynamic, he's in a position of authority, she just wants to hook up with hot guys, right? So she and Long Beach go back to her. I'm not sure if it's a dorm room or apartment. I also love the carpet on the back of the wall. And it also transitions into playing What I Am by Edie Brickell. I was like, oh, we are definitely transitioning into the 90s.
I like that. I like you.
It's getting hot in here, huh?
I thought that was a girl's line.
Yeah. It's just that I like you.
I will also say the actress is 27, as well as Long Beach. But yeah, her character, is she like a freshman? Is she like 17, 18? Is she 21? That's what I was thinking. I was like, that's why he's hesitating. Or also he doesn't want to like screw up his case. Doesn't want to, hurt her feelings by being an undercover cop and just disappearing one day. Then she... Speaking of killing the mood.
You just have to learn to trust your feelings. Terry always tells us.
Terry? Do you know what Terry is?
I know he can seem weird sometimes, but he's just trying to get us to realize our full potential.
Claire, listen to yourself. The guy's a sadist. He's a control freak.
Yeah, ultimate boner killer there. I have in my notes, he's not like other professors. He's a cool professor. Well, he's not that cool of a professor because Joey brings him to make this deal with Cutter, who is undercover, dressed very well. I like the aviator glasses. I don't want to say they look like transition lenses, but there's definitely a tint to them. I like his tie. I like his suit. I like his shirt. I like the martini right in front of him. And he talks to Baines. They both joke about living in Soho and how all the yuppies come in, kick out all the artists, then start dressing like artists themselves, which very interesting. As someone who used to work in the LA Arts District, I definitely believe that 100%. Then we cut to Ray in his room. Again, he's a cool surfer dude. I do like how authentic the room is set up, and you do get a cut of him shirtless. He gets a call from Claire. She's been looking into some stuff and she wants his help, and they're going to sneak into his office and look at some files. Then he's doing this out of spite, ?
I'm going to beat you to the punch, Baltimore.
Well, spoiler alert, Ray, that's not going to really work in your favor, and you're doing this to beat Joey to the punch. I get that you're a team, and yes, some things would be on you solo, but I also know about being inspired by vengeance. It is, personally for me, my source of ambition. So I totally get it. And I am stubborn AF, so what is it? What you don't like in others, what you don't like in yourself. So maybe that's why, because I would do this. Unfortunately, surprise, surprise, things don't end well for him. There's a really creepy screenshot I got of Baines doing like the shh after him and his goons catch Ray and Claire and also see that Ray has a gun on him. Oops.
Gun? Who would carry a gun? A dealer? A cop, maybe?
A cop. Get serious, Baines.
Yeah, he didn't say anything when he said dealer. Also, yeah, you could have explained that. Well, not really. I guess when you're caught in the heat like that, I wouldn't be good at that. I'm not very good. Like, even that game Mafia, people can always tell when I'm part of the Mafia. I was like, how? I'm just very bad at, playing it cool in those kind of situations. Unfortunately, just like Ray, so hopefully things work out better. But they find Ray and Claire dead by the water. Ray kind of looks pale and puffy. I thought they washed up in the water. And then there's a note of an auto accident. Then, sorry, this is sad. Rest in peace, Ray. Why is the EMT or first responder putting your hand down your pants? I get that they're trying to transport the body from the ground to a stretcher, maybe, but this was really funny. I was like, why'd you get to And Arkansas is real mad. Everyone's real mad. And they're going to tell Cutter that not this time and not this way, man, because this is the late 80s, early 90s. We're going to do things our own way.
All right, now, I'm taking that son of a bitch Baines out myself, Cutter. You hear me?
That's right, man. From now on, we're playing by a whole new set of rules.
Bull! Come here. Hey, you! Get over here!
This is the kind of cops you guys are, huh? First time something goes bad, you turn into a couple of cheap jack vigilantes. Well, that don't make it with me, man.
Well, what the hell are we supposed to do then? That cat ain't gonna sell us aspirin now, not with all this heat around.
We're not gonna get him legally. He's gonna walk.
Like hell. You listen to me. Ray blew in. He played cowboy. He's laying in the street. You're gonna calm down, both of you, and then you're gonna think.
Oh, great. Think about what, for God's sake?
Think about how to get in, about how he works, what he needs.
Actually, Ray is lying in the sand.
Boy, I really hope somebody got fired for that blunder.
Old heads banging heads with the younger generation, not surprising. Our youths go to the beach and again proclaim, after this, we are so over, man. Again, we're not going to play by these rules. Joey, though, has a really heart-touching story, and I don't know if he touched on this on Leap of Faith. My mind has been jello this past week, so I do apologize. Feel free to at me. But this really got to me.
Best damn cop in Baltimore. Ended up shot in an alley by his partner who was dealing skag.
It's pretty cold.
That why you don't want partners?
Could be. But maybe I just don't trust Cutter.
Oh, come on.
He's Ray's boss.
Wait a minute. Now, Cutter is not only the best cop I know, he's the best man. Now, when my daddy died, he flew with me to Arkansas, and he stayed up with me 3 nights in a row, talking me through the whole thing. It's just the kind of man he is.
All right, let's go back to the YCU. And Tanya is going to give us a little bit more background on Baines. Turns out that Lisa, who also mysteriously died while close to Terry, was crazy about Terry and wanted to marry him. And she's found that a lot of people in his orbit have history of psych ward visits and come from broken families. So Arkansas is now going to do his best to get in there. He already has the I like poetry, I'm in a cardigan when I shouldn't be in a cardigan. I said Geddy Lee glasses, but Geddy Lee can actually pull these glasses off this guy. He's too handsome. But the wig, I don't even know if that's a wig or just whatever they've done to his hair. He goes to visit Baines in his office. This is how Baines greets guests.
Come.
Arkansas apologizes for interrupting him. Terry doesn't miss a beat in insulting his own students whose papers he's marking by calling them half-baked illiterates. Like, goddamn, what are you teaching? It's a power move, I know, but geez. Arkansas wants to, fit that mold and get into Terry's world. Unfortunately, that is going to happen. This story, though, I have a lot of questions.
My father, sir, he's a big man and a drinker. He found a poem I was writing.
Zach, there are authorities for that kind of thing.
Well, I come from a small town, and my father's the mayor there. Lions Club, Kiwanis. You know the kind of guy I'm talking about, sir. The checkered pants and the white belt.
Yeah. Mr. Haute Couture. Loved by all the local gentry, no doubt.
Sure. King of the appliance salesman. But when he gets loaded and he starts talking about all his glory days on the gridiron, well, he gets mean. And he blames it all on me, his beatnik commie son.
Oh my God, I can't with that line.
His beatnik commie son.
Oh my God, I think we know the quote of the episode. Oh my God. Okay, again, I could tell a lot of holes in this story, but maybe Baines is just apt for anyone that fits the mold, anyone that he can try. Okay, so his father is the mayor, the big shot of this town, but resents his son because he never went pro, or because he had to stay in a small town and take care of his son. Maybe that's it. Also, again, this kid is like 30, but let's say he's in the story sophomore, junior. How recently did he go home that he still has a bruise if he's in college in Miami coming from Arkansas? Again, I'm aware that physical, financial, and emotional abuse and control don't just go away the day you turn 18, but literally he has distance between his father in Arkansas and being in school as beatnik commie's son in Miami. Well, unfortunately, his day is going to get a lot worse. Because I was like, wait, someone had to put that bruise on him, or it's makeup. It looks like probably he just kind of either hit himself or someone just sacked him with potatoes or a phone book. The next scene, after he gets his coffee spiked by Baines, this is when I am going to gripe again, where the production quality really goes down. It looks grainy. But then you have this animation that I like to liken to poor man's Take On Me animation that must have cost a pretty penny. So maybe they just spent all their budget on getting the rights to Paradise City and these animators. Now, Baines and his goons are watching as Zach is in this glass room. They can see each other. So they've moved him after drugging him, and Zach escapes when Piggy and the old guy come to take him. It's the daytime, and we cut to Joey sitting in the car, listening in on what's going on, as Zach is running free, runs onto a main street. Kind of looks like a causeway because you do have barriers on both sides, where a truck is driving not in the right lane, not in the left lane, but just straight down the middle, and Zach is walking up to it, arms stretched out, and in his mind, when he closes his eyes, or not closes his eyes, we can see the animation of a boat coming his way, and that's what he's walking towards. Before he is pancaked by this truck coming straight down a 2-lane road, Joey jumps, pulls him off to safety, and they roll to the other side of the barrier. Joey, after saving Zach's life, goes in to see Terry. Says that his buyer's left. Remember, Cutter was the buyer. And it's just a little too hot. There's been deaths on campus. He's probably not going to find another buyer. But Terry wants to meet Joey at night. We're going to meet at the building on campus. When they pull up, Joey walks in with Zach, who is blindfolded. Is this going to be a repeat of the cold open? Well, it gets a little close as we see Joey kind of leading Zach, using similar verbiage about trust and taking that step. And they get close. They get very close. And they're on the ledge.
Come on, what are you waiting for, Zach?
I don't know. Maybe he doesn't want to go.
Well, he has to go on. Hey, Joey, I thought you were going to take care of this for me. Now, you've been doing beautifully so far. Don't disappoint me now.
I want to, but I feel kind of sick.
It's just nerves. Hey, look, when I did Lisa, puked my guts out. By the time I got to Peter, better than sex.
Barf.
Now do it.
Ooh, Terry, that was a lot to reveal in this conversation because Zach is wearing a wire. This is all caught on. And they have Piggy and the old guy drop their guns. They're just about to make the arrest. They have backup coming when the security guard who saw them come in downstairs, kind of gave them a weird look, follows them upstairs. But when they're distracted, Baines pulls a knife and threatens to kill the guard if they don't drop their guns. Unfortunately, as Joey and Zach drop their guns, Piggy and old guy pick up their guns. They're talking about what to do, how they can frame them. Then, because Zach's from Arkansas, he really makes another dig at Piggy. Again, this guy is not fat.
Fat boy will probably crack up and tell his mother.
Shut the hell up, cop! Hey, Piggy, let me show you how I call the hogs down home. Say, shoo, pig. Shut up, pig. Say,
But it works, and Zach's able to get his gun, shoots Pig, and then they wrestle with the old guy while Joey goes to stop Baines. By the time Cutter and backup show, they've somersaulted and flipped themselves to the point where Baines falls off the ledge and Joey is holding on to him. Again, I had to make gifs of him falling, or of the dummy falling. Then they zoom in after he splats. But first, you have to hear this scream. You know, I don't include gunshots, but I have to include this scream. That's what I felt like internally, having to watch this episode 3 times. However, let's wrap it up. We got old guard, new guard, Utes. But overall, they worked pretty well together. We know this is not going to be a recurring thing because, goodbye, this was a one-and-done failed pilot for a spinoff. But they have some faith.
How we do there, Captain?
Not bad for a bunch of hotshots.
You didn't do too bad either, Cut, for an old slow guy.
Bunch of kids and like an old grizzled guy on the streets trying to do things a different way, but it's not 21 Jump Street.
Hard-headed man, isn't he?
Yeah, that's his trademark.
Yeah? Well, he doesn't have a patent on it.
Is this a joke?
But TV, be more funny!
And that's the end of the episode. All right, let's break it down. Let's get to some looks. I started off this episode on my gallery with the worst dressed, and I kind of like it. First off, we have Arkansas and Terry at the party, both looking wildly out of place with horrible hairstyle. Oh, and then it's not the worst dressed, but it's Terry with the rolled up blazer, the sleeves rolled up, with the watch, looking all slack-jawed, watching Joey, while you have Ray there with a cut-off t-shirt, cut-off sleeveless t-shirt, so just basically like a crop tank, I guess, and some puffy patterned pants at the house party when Joey is breaking in. And if anything, that's what they should go to Crockett and Tubbs for, like how to fit in undercover and how to be styled properly. I understand they're going for a different cohort if they're going into universities and high schools, but still, they could get some fashion tips. And then our other wild card entry, of course, is our big beefy guy with his rock hard nipples and the tank top that covers nothing. Like, I love it. I guess, like, you know, some bars are like no shoes, no shirt, no service. Maybe this was like, well, I can get around that. This is a shirt. There's fabric here. Now, my song of the episode, personally, is going to be Paradise City. Number one, it just kind of fits in with youth, what they would be doing. It kind of felt a little out of place at that particular club because I have no idea what was going on. Was that guy who like was dressing up as a hair metal singer? Was that karaoke? Why was there a topless girl? Why are they trying to get this poor blindfolded and drugged kid to like be on stage with this girl? It's very weird. But the other songs were also Kiss Me When I Get Back by Tom Tom Club at Baines' party, and I don't think I got a clip of that, so I do apologize. And then the other song was What I Am by Edie Brickell. Oh, sorry. Edie Brickell and the New Bohemians. But that was also a very kind of like college rock alternative song. So I could have seen where this spinoff could have gone, and I think I would have enjoyed the music and the outfits. That's it. I really dislike this episode, and I feel bad. I really tried to... I don't have the wit to be snarky, and I don't have that edge, and I know this about myself, but yeah, I had to watch this 3 times, and then I had to screen grab more. I was like, I'm over this episode. And just seems sad. It really seems like they set this episode up for failure with the poor production quality, with like the back and forth. I will say, you know who killed this episode? Keith Gordon, Terry Baines, because he got under my skin, he creeped me out, and he had some amazing one-liners. And since we're going to go to one-liners, let's just do the quote of the episode. I think you know what I'm going to pick, but let's at least hear out the other options.
Come.
Quote number 2.
Hey, since you like old things so much, why don't you come with me? I'll show you something that'll give you a real thrill.
Quote 3.
I'm gonna beat you to the punch, Baltimore.
Yeah, unfortunately you did, Ray. I'm more including that quote because of the guitar at the end of the score. Now, those are not just 3 options, because this is option number 4, quote number 4, and clearly my favorite quote of the episode.
His beatnik commie son.
Oh man, I can't think of a better note to end on. No advice to this episode. I didn't really find anything too scandalous. The one cool thing is that Jennifer Rubin, who did play Claire, who is so beautiful, was actually the Ford International Model of the Year. I want to say in 1984. I thought that was cool. But aside from that, I couldn't really find anything too scandalous, aside from the ages. And with that, we're going to wrap up this episode of Vice and Easy. Just want to thank each and every one of you for not just listening, but subscribing, but liking all things on my socials at Vice and Easy Podcast, for leaving 5-star reviews, for shouting me out on Reddit. Thank you. And for just being awesome and for following me on this journey. We are almost done with the entire season. We have 2 episodes left. We're almost there. So thank you again for all of your support. It really means a lot. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting. And as always,
hey man, Miami Wise is #1 new show.